Be blessed, be blessed. All the meditation centers and the trusts around the world, be blessed, be blessed, be blessed. We shall not hurt anyone in body, mind, or soul. We shall help those who are hurt. We shall not hurt anyone in body, mind, or soul. We shall help those who are hurt. We shall not hurt anyone in body, mind, or soul. We shall help those who are hurt. May the whole world live in peace, prosperity, and harmony. World Prayer. May the leaders of every nation intuitively attain divine realizations. The boundaries of all nations guarded by a force common to every country. May all men live without rancor or fear, working for a living, all wars disappear. May the people all over the world find lasting peace which fills their mind. Rain blessing. May there be rainfall in adequate strength so that lakes, ponds, wells, and rivers are filled to the brim. May people live in prosperity through ennoblement of character. May there be rainfall in adequate strength so that lakes, ponds, wells, and rivers are filled to the brim. May people live in prosperity through ennoblement of character. May there be rainfall in adequate strength so that lakes, ponds, wells, and rivers are filled to the brim. May people live in prosperity through ennoblement of character. May peace prevail within us. May peace prevail around us. May peace prevail all over the world. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Rub your palms gently together, place them over your eyes, and then gently wipe the face with the palms. Raise the hands over your head. Take a gentle, deep breath and release it. Bring the hands down sideways. Open your eyes gently and look at your palms and bless your Guru and bless all the people who are meditating along with you. Be blessed by the Divine. Be blessed by the Divine. Repository of Wisdom by Yogiraj Sri Vethathiri Maharishi. The Evolution of the Worlds. Poem written on 6th January 1956. This world, other worlds, living beings, and all matter are all just evolved from the combination of infinitesimal energy particles Parama Anu. Analyzing as an aligned witness, you become, starting with sound, the five principles, their compression, and the Parama Anu. Be blessed by the Divine.
Dear Sky Meditators, be blessed by the Divine. With the grace of the Divine Force, we have come together to meditate this evening. We are blessed indeed to listen to the Divine Masters of the Sky System. The insightful words of our Guru Vethathiri Maharishi flow through every Sky Professor. Today's guest of honor is our Senior Professor G. Balachandran sir. He is associated with World Community Service Center for about 30 years. He has been serving the organization full-time on voluntary basis since the year 2000, working directly with our Divine Father, Tattvajnani Vethathiri Maharishi. He worked as Joint Secretary of World Community Service Center and as Director of Extension for foreign countries and states of India other than Tamil Nadu. He has been teaching the system at Aliyar Temple of Consciousness as well as in other parts of India and abroad, covering 20 countries across the globe, including Middle East, Europe, and North America. Professor Balachandran holds a master degree in statistics and has diploma in educational planning from University of London, UK. He was a member of Indian Statistical Service, a technical wing of Indian Civil Service, and has served in the Federal Ministries of Planning, Agriculture, and Human Resource Development in India and in the Ministry of Health abroad. He took voluntary retirement from the government service as Joint Director in the year 2000 and joined Aliyar Temple of Consciousness with his wife for full-time spiritual service. It is our pleasure, sir, to invite you today this evening to deliver the speech on Bhakti or Gnanam.
Well, thank you very much. Salutations to all of you. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May we all be blessed with good health, long life, enough wealth, wisdom, and peace. Dear friends, I'm honored to be a part of the system and share some of the thoughts of Swamiji on this great concept about Bhakti and Gnanam. In fact, these two words are so loaded with meaning and has been instrumental in changing our personalities. But at the same time, when these words are misunderstood, they have created havoc in the society. Many wars have been fought just because of lack of understanding of what is Bhakti, what is Gnanam, and whose Bhakti is better than mine or yours, and which Gnanam is true. Even now it keeps continuing. Wars in the name of religions are basically the misunderstandings of concepts of Bhakti and Gnana. And we know that even in the same religion, the Bhakti differs. And based on that, there is so much of division even within religions. You name any religion, they break up into parts because at some point of time, the Bhakti changes. That is, object of Bhakti changes. So it is very important to understand these concepts and how they evolved. And it is in this context, our Guru Vedadri Maharishi, as has been the case in so many other areas, has done very deep analysis and research and has come out with some fantastic solutions. To any problem, Swamiji identifies what is the current situation, identifies what are the problems, goes to the root cause of the problems, and then, depending on the present situation, gives a solution which in the future would bring peace, prosperity, and happiness to the whole world. And one such thing is this exposition about Bhakti and Gnana. Broadly, we can say Bhakti means faith, total faith, surrender. And Gnanam is generally translated as knowledge, but it is a total realization of the self and realization of the divinity and becoming one with that. That's what Swamiji calls it as Gnanam, or clarity about the total consciousness, understanding of the total consciousness and living in tune with that. That is considered as Gnanam. Now, why Bhakti and Gnana are required for human beings at all? Can we not live without that? After all the animal species except the human beings, all the other species on the earth, they do live and die without any of these complications. So why should we have this and have problems with this? So Swamiji identifies the difference between us and the rest of the living creatures. They're broadly divided into 1 sensed, 2 sensed, 3 sensed, 4 sensed, 5 sensed living beings, from plant life to animal life. But they all live by instinct. There's not much of thought process involved in that. Even if we go to the history and then come back to understanding of these concepts. And then man evolved from the animals. And so in the beginning, as a nomad, he was also living almost like animals in caves, under trees, etc. But at some point, as the system started developing, Swamiji defines beautifully as the sixth sense is the power of questioning, inference, trying to such questions, even if they are beyond the 5 senses, beyond the recognition by the 5 senses, going beyond the 5 senses, by logic, by inference. So when man starts from the nomadic life, slowly settling down, when understood agriculture, when he started staying together in one place, it is then that community living started. And the sixth sense is, the limit of sixth sense is the highest realization. So that is the limit, starting from understanding of small things and then understanding the ultimate truth of everything. So that is the power of human being. We have that in us. With the sixth sense, we could reach to that level of consciousness. So with that much of power, the man's mind cannot be idle. It will keep questioning and trying to find answers. And if it doesn't find answers and gets into the wrong line, then it could create problems to itself and to others. So either man could be a great benefactor or could be a great destroyer. Today, the coronavirus also possibly because man was, instead of being a benefactor to the society, was a harmful virus himself. And unless that changes, life, you know how bad it has become now and it could become worse. Unless we change and use our Bhakti and Gnanam in a proper way. So when the human beings started living together, it was very important that there's a harmony among themselves. And the man's evolved senses is also able to feel the pain of the other person and to come to help. So Swamiji says this is the beginning of religions. The compassion, the feeling of understanding the feeling of pain of another person. So from this, at the same time, you could also give pain to others. And man's life being an art. Again, Swamiji defines art as a very beautiful way. He says that man's life itself is a very artistic way of living. Because man does not consume things from nature as it is. Because of the sixth sense, he is able to give an artificial shape and an artistic touch to whatever he does. For example, we don't take from the plants as it is and eat. We heat it, we do so many other things, and then only we consume. We don't live like other animals in the holes of the trees. We have a beautiful building to stay with. So this is an artistic touch and an artificial shape to everything. So when he has, and with sixth sense developing, science is advancing, this is becoming more and more complex. So unless he has given a set of rules to live by, he could create harm to himself and society and to others. Or if he is able to follow these certain rules and regulations, he could be a great benefactor for himself and for others and for nature and in fact for other living beings. So the great masters evolved what are called a moral way of living, which Swamiji again defines beautifully as three parts: morality, duty, charity. Morality is not giving pain. Duty is we are indebted to society and to others and doing in return. And charity is helping those who are in pain. So these three were put together as a rule of living. And these were called morality. And so this could bring harmony. If you see all religions, there is no difference at all in this. As far as morality, duty, charity concepts are absolutely essential for a society to live in harmony. But then where does the problem start? Now, man, as he is advancing in the development of his knowledge, starts trying to understand more and more. So in the beginning, just to survive. And then once that survival is taken care of, then it starts appreciating nature, the second stage. And then later trying to find out the secret behind this. So the appreciating nature is the fine arts. And then further is when trying to understand the secret of nature is science. And ultimately later, what is that force which is operating the entire thing? All these laws of nature, how beautifully is being planned and implemented for thousands and thousands and millions of years. What is that force behind it? So that comes as philosophy. So as man went on advancing, he started developing more and more ways of living, leading, for the basic needs, and then enjoying nature and science advancing, and ultimately philosophical levels also increasing. So it is at this stage that not everyone could understand those things. Maybe the only some few people who could reach to that level of understanding the truth as it is. But they found that the others are not able to appreciate, understand it. And because of that lack of understanding of that great truth, they, in their lack of security, in their greed, anger, etc., in the emotional modes, are creating problems to others. Though the moral principles were declared, but still they had to instill a sort of fear and also give what is it called carrot and stick policy. Give a stick or have a stick also and give a carrot. So that is how they created what is called the hell and heaven. That if you do things properly without creating problems to others, then you will go to heaven and live a beautiful life. Otherwise, you'll be punished in hell. So they started instilling what is called Bhakti, that is total surrender. Fear, in fact, fear also in that Bhakti. So if you do one thing, you will get the benefit. If you do the other thing, you will be punished. So in our Indian languages, we call it as Bhaya Bhakti. So Bhayam is also there, Bhakti is also there. But these Bhakti stories, so they had created. So the ultimate truth was one, which masters did realize, but they found that it was very difficult for people to appreciate that, understand that level, certain level. Hardly few people could reach that. But till they reach that stage, they have to live in harmony with others without creating problems. And so they created different stories for the people to lead a virtuous way of life and have a fear of a greater power. And these masters were, in those days, it was not a one world. People were living isolatedly in different communities, far away, not knowing each other. So wherever some masters, that realized person came about, so he, depending on the environment there, the climate there, the culture there, the level of understanding of the people, he told certain stories, knowing pretty well that they're not true, but only to instill a sense of fear and a sense of bhakti, a surrender to a higher power, with a very good intention that they should lead life without problems. And that is why, so as long as they were all living in small communities, that story was okay for that group. But when they started getting together and they found that my story is different from your story, and so which story is better? So then the problems started. Another strain also will mix it here to understand the whole thing further. Man had this feeling of thankfulness for whichever higher power is there, which is giving all these things to him. And so he started worshipping different things. So when he saw that he's surviving because of the plants, which is all given by the earth, so he started worshipping earth as God, as some higher power. Then he learned that it is, but for water, soil alone is not enough. So he started worshipping Varuna Bhagavan also, water. Then he found later that the fire was important. So Agni also was started worshipping. Then they found that without air you cannot survive. Vayu Bhagavan also was worshipped. And much later they found it's the energy. And ultimately the Brahman, or the ultimate reality, the space. Now the space could not be explained to others. It was too difficult a concept. Bharatiya at one place says that even among the intellectuals, whether it is there or not, divinity, that Brahman is there or not, is a dicey thing. Even among scientists, I thought that all scientists were atheists. I found that 50% of them are actually theists. They believe in some form of God. And they feel that it is that intuition coming from there. So the highest Brahman concept was very difficult. But at the same time, they had to show way to the people. And so they started giving artificial shape and stories. So Brahman or Shivam, that Shivalingam doesn't have any form, shape, etc. So people could not link to that. So then they developed the Shakti, the energy. From Shivam, the Shakti came, and then the Panchabhutas, the Panchamahatantra, the five transformations, five magnetic transformations, and the mind. So the Panchabhutas represented by the Ganapati, and the sixth one by Kumara or Lord Kartikeya. So like this, stories were made, and depending on the level of the people, different forms of worship were created. So thus we find the same truth, but the masters coming to the level of the people because of their kindness and compassion, and developing certain ways of living so that they could all live in happiness. So they instilled a form of bhakti in some higher power, and also a moral code of living so that they can live in harmony with society. Maharshi says that all religions have got just two principles. One is worship of the higher power. The other is developing harmony in society. And as long as developing harmony in society, morality, duty, charity are same, but understanding the ultimate reality and how to deal with that, how to get connected with that, there the procedures are different depending on the audience. And so there are hundreds of forms, hundreds of ways of worship by bhakti. But over a period of time, this itself created problems. So bhakti by itself, and further, a human being does not evolve into an intelligent being in the beginning itself. First, he has to live under the guidance of the parents, the teacher, because his own intelligence has not yet developed. So he has to have some faith, bhakti, to the parents, to the teachers. And at that time, he's also instilled the concept of divinity, depending on which religion or which group he belonged to, so that there is a fear in him, and that carrot and stick. And so he starts doing good things, even though his understanding may not be true. He may not be worshipping the true God, but that doesn't matter. As long as, even if it's a false story, if he is able to lead a good life. So that was the idea of these great masters. Just like we tell a child that don't go near a fuse wire. And it won't understand what electricity is, but you will sell some cock and bull story. So bhakti in the beginning was absolutely essential. But when it went beyond, throughout the life, understanding, having some, and the masters must have given a story with a particular meaning, but over a period of time when the masters had gone and it was taken over by others of lesser intelligence and lesser magnanimity, they created their own stories. And some of them became, they started even making money out of it, and so many other things started coming into being. And so we know so much of stories about all those things. And people of one faith, because they didn't understand what reality is, they had problems with people with other faith. And so killings in the name of religion all started coming out. And it is at this stage where the Maharshi comes in and says that bhakti is absolutely essential. Gnanam is also absolutely essential. But to get Gnanam, it takes time. So till such time, bhakti has to be there. And he says in this modern world, when our consciousness has developed, our sixth sense has developed to a very great extent, up to the physical maturity, a person has to live in bhakti. But after physical maturity, his intelligence has started developing. If he continues to believe in stories which may not be true, it could be very dangerous. So the Gnanam should be started even at that age, 14, 15. And to get that knowledge, he is also introduced to be a practical experience. And he has given this meditation system by which first your mind goes up to settle up to the energy level, energy in the body, and then the meditation which you did, universal energy, and then even to the ultimate reality. So with that experience and the mind going subtler, and then explaining the Brahman, if that can be done, and that is possible today. And this is how Swamiji has developed a beautiful system where the problems of bhakti will be removed, but the benefits of bhakti will continue. And again, Gnanam at different levels were understood at different points of time. At that time, science was not developed. But today, with the advancement of science, the philosophy has gone to a further higher level. So now with science and philosophy coming together, as Einstein wanted, that ultimate reality could be understood, and that is same for people of all religions, or even if a person does not believe in religion. So Gnanam can be won today which has been one always, but has been interpreted differently depending on the level of understanding at that point of time. But in this 21st century, Bhakti in the beginning, but maturing into Gnanam is possible to entire human society. And with this, fight in the name of Bhakti or Gnana, fight in the name of religions will not be there. And even science would advance. What is that understand? What is that reality? And if science also is able to break the borders which it has created, that certain things cannot be proved objectively, but subjectively can be reached. So in that way, Swamiji is giving Bhakti and Jnanam to everyone. And even if a person has become a Jnani, of course it's very difficult. We have to continue to have Bhakti. It's not that we don't have to go to temples. Or, there are significance to that. We don't have time to discuss all that. We can't see divinity everywhere, even today. Even if the understanding is there, it'll take quite some time. But till then, faith is also required. And even if a person has become Jnani, his family members might not have reached up to that. So at least for them to guide, for the children to appreciate, to follow the faith, he or she has to come down to that level and do those practices too. And then at appropriate age, evolve them to a higher level of knowledge or higher level of realization, the consciousness. That is what Swamiji calls it as Jnana. Not just reading books and understanding certain things. Realization of the ultimate reality, realization of the self. That he calls it as Jnana, which is the ultimate goal of human life. And everyone, Swamiji says, can reach that. But the process is through Bhakti. So Bhakti and Jnanam are not two opposites. It is the raw fruit itself becoming a fruit. Kaye Kanyavadapu. So they are not two different things. It is just the maturity. And we all start as bhaktas and ultimately become jnanis. And once you become a jnani, you will be a bhakta also. Because if you are a jnani, and if you understand the greatness of the divinity, you will have total faith in that. Total surrender will be there. Absolute surrender will be there for an absolute jnani. And a pure bhakta will become jnani when he's got an open mind. So Bhakti and Jnana are not two separate things at all. So if humanity understands this, world would be a place of peace. At least fight will not be there in the name of religions or faith or the belief in God, theism, atheism. All those things will vanish. And that is what Swamiji calls it as the world order of holistic unity. Karma Yoga could be a world religion, bringing all the disparate concepts into one beautiful, integrated approach to life, where individual purpose of life could be reached. He would be a very productive, positive member of the society. And ultimately realize the truth and be in tune with nature and be a friend to all living beings. What a beautiful concept Maharishi has given. And he says you don't require to have very deep knowledge of religious books and all that. It is just a commitment and an open mindedness. Open mind would make all the difference. Let us all on this day pray that the world realizes, understands Bhakti and Jnana in the true meaning, true significance, and bring prosperity, peace, happiness to everyone. Be blessed by the divine. Vazhga Valamudan.
Thank you, sir. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you for the inspiring speech and letting everyone know that bhakti is required during the initial phases of our life, and once we attain physical maturity and our level of consciousness will raise, then Gnanam is required. Thank you, sir. Now the forum is open for discussion. Please click the raise hand button in your Zoom app. While you are preparing for your questions, we have some few important announcements to make. To fight against COVID-19, we all know that we need to raise our immunity level. So please emphasize all your near and dear ones to learn and practice Kaya Kalpa Yoga. You can learn Kaya Kalpa Yoga through our website kayakalpayoga.edu.in or also through our Android app from your home. Our monthly journal Anbuli is also available in Android app. You can get access to the premium content of our Swamiji speeches at a nominal subscription. You can also connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Sky Yoga TV to listen to all the past speeches of our beloved professors for free. Vedatrium principle suggests donating 1% of income to the good cause of the society. We invite you to donate to the World Community Service Center either through the Anbali app or our official website vedatri.edu.in. Section 80G exemptions are also available for these donations. Forum is now open for question and answer session. Arunakaran.
Vazhga Valamudan.
Vazhga Valamudan.
Thank you very much, sir. Very good explanation about Bhakti and Gnanam. As far as I am a very chota boy, I thought the faith of God is the brahmacharya, Gnanam is a sannyasa. Kindly, can you discuss with that point of brahmacharya and sannyasa in related with the Bhakti and Yoga, sir, and Gnanam? Kindly, other things like crystal clear explanation. I really enjoyed your talk.
Yeah,
So,
actually, yeah, sure. It's a good question. In fact, we have this 4 yogas: Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So we all start with Bhakti Yoga in the beginning. In olden days, so then comes the Karma Yoga when you become a householder and then you work for the society. And then the Vanaprastha, the 3rd stage, where you retire and start trying to understand yourself, etc. That is Raja Yoga by meditation. And then Sannyasa, Swamiji says, not renunciations. Sannyasa is understanding the truth, Jnani. You become Jnani. And then you serve the society completely from that level. So Bhakti, for Karma Yoga, when Bhakti is there, when his character is properly formed, he is able to do a Karma Yoga properly for the society. And then later in those days, because you have to learn skills living with your families, so right up to 50 years you'll be doing that. And then if you want to learn about higher things, it's only after that. Till then you're very busy. And then the Raja Yoga comes into being, meditation, and then the sannyasa. But now what Swamiji says is, now with the advancement of science, you don't require for such a long time as for Karma Yoga separately, for Raja Yoga separately, and then later. All those things are not required. So he says, no, all those things can be abridged. Because now whatever we used to do 8 hours with machine, you're able to do 10 minutes, isn't it? So similarly, he says that within the first 15 years with Bhakti Yoga, you learn certain, what is do's and don'ts by faith. But once you become physically mature, at that time itself, that Raja Yoga can start, meditation can start. And within a short period of time, the Brahman can be realized. So you can become a Jnani even at a very, very young age. And then when you do the Karma Yoga, it's of a totally different level. A Jnani doing the Karma, doing the Raja Yoga, doing the Bhakti. So then it becomes much, much faster. It is possible in this 21st century with the advancement of science and also advancement in spirituality. Like Swamiji has made meditation so simple that every householder can learn it. You don't have to retire to forest to do that. So that is where Swamiji has simplified everything, at the same time has made it very, very efficient and effective. Does it answer your question?
Thank you, sir. Be blessed. Vivo 1610, please introduce yourself.
Vazhga Valamudan, Professor. I am Vijay Lakshmi. Vazhga Valamudan. My request is how to follow this karma yoga, the day-to-day life, by balancing the family as well as the work in a simple way. Kindly explain.
Karma yoga consists of a concept. One is duty to society. Okay, so that is done by Swamiji. You see, the beauty about Swamiji is he is able to quantify everything. He says the duty can be divided into 5: duty to self, duty to family, duty to your relatives and friends, duty to your village or country, and then duty to the world. And the order is very important. You don't go to the world and serve without taking care of yourself or your family. So you go in that order. But doing one should not be affecting the other. Then you know the limit and method, how much of duty you got for all these 5. So performance of this duty is Karma Yoga. At the same time, understanding that there is a greater truth which is operating, which is functioning. So constantly awareness of divinity and also serving the society. That is Karma Yoga. So depending on your skill, whatever best you can do from your background, do that. With the concept that it is not just me making money, but I am returning it to the society. Whatever I have got today is from society. So I do my best to return to the society. You will find that your efficiency increases tremendously. And a sense of satisfaction also comes into being.
Thank you, sir. Suresh, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Vazhga Valamudan here.
Vazhga Valamudan.
Sir, your explanations were very clear regarding this Bhakti and Gnanam. I have one question.
Yes.
So you have answered that that to make the people to live in harmony with nature and with other people, great scholars and jnanis have introduced Bhakti Magam. That one I have understood. But in the question which I have is, in Bhakti Magam, many wrong beliefs and superstitious beliefs like killing of other animals and many other wrong beliefs are there. But how to avoid those in Bhakti Param? Because people follow that, blindly follow those things in Bhakti Magam. This is causing...
Correct. Yes, you're right. That is where Swamiji comes out saying that Bhakti should be only in the younger ages, and Bhakti has to mature into Gnanam as early as possible. But if we don't do that, then all these things, superstitions, all these things will continue. So that is where Swamiji says immediately after physical maturity, start teaching the truth. Well, you see, you can't go and tell people, don't do this, don't do this. Tell them what is the truth. Automatically things will drop. Once they understand what divinity is, once they understand that, then they will understand what am I doing now. So by that only, it can't be done overnight. It can't be done overnight, but efforts have to be made, sooner the better. And once people are told the truth, it will start working in them. You see, but give them some time. But it will happen. At some point of time, it has to start. And Swamiji has taken the bold. Many social reformers have done it. But what I find is Swamiji has given it in a very integrated way, a very practical way, that it can be implemented in school. Suppose it becomes a part of our school syllabus itself. Today in our schools, we don't discuss about these things at all. We don't discuss about self or society or nature in the form of what God is. These things should be incorporated in school itself. Then, we evolve. As you pass out your schools, 11th or 12th class, not only you have knowledge for some skill, but also understanding this. So in that way, it is possible. We can very, very, very optimistically, it can be done.
Thank you, sir. Surya, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. For this transition from Bhakti Marga to Jnana Marga, as you mentioned that after attaining physical maturity, one is entitled, one is able to go for Jnana Marga. But the problem is, even after attaining physical maturity, unlike the normal education pattern, so for this one needs to have mental maturity or mental growth to absorb, to understand. So that is how the transition is a real tricky, or it's not so defined, well defined.
Correct. That is why even though it's not introduced in schools, now we are doing it through World Community Service Center. With our meditation centers, we take them step by step. So Swamiji teaches physical exercise, Kaya Kalpa, meditation, introspection practices. So slowly we are able to get over and then get the reality. Yes. So that is how it has been framed. Introspection, you are responsible for your fate. That is, it is not that you break some coconut and you'll get the benefit. So that is how Swamiji is able to explain what truth is, what is cause and effect system. So once people start appreciating it, very soon they will be able to practice it, put it into practice. When there is a critical level is reached, then the progress is much faster. We have not yet reached the critical level. Ours is a very small percentage.
Be blessed. Kanagarajan. Kanagarajan.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, Vazhga Valamudan. Are you here, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir, are you hearing?
We can hear you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Good
we are
evening, sir.
hearing. Please
Vazhga
go ahead.
Valamudan. Are you hearing, sir? Sir, very kind of you. Yes, sir. Sir, your speech, lecture, definition, explanation, everything is very, very welcomed, sir, by all the Manamanakala people. Really, we all are given to hear your speech today, sir. Very good, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Wish you live long and I will be happy. Sir, one question, sir. Up
Yes.
to what stage or which stage is a bhakti to be adhered, and from which stage you have to come to Gnanam, sir? Please let me know, sir.
First of all, I should tell you that whatever I have said, it is just Swamiji's words. That's all. Okay, trying to explain with whatever capacity we are doing. So there's nothing this great about it. It's all Swamiji's. This is exactly what all of us should do. Take it to as many people as possible. That is the first this thing. Second part, as a child, it's very difficult to appreciate the concept of absolute space and all. So in the beginning, bhakti is required till a child is mature. So as the maturity level develops, slowly we will be able to explain the greater truths. Just like in our schools, calculus cannot be taught in class 1, is it not? So like that, gradation is there from bhakti to jnana. It could vary from person to person, but broadly, by about 15 or 16, you're almost ready to receive this knowledge. Thank you.
Well said, sir. Thank you. Saravanan.
Be blessed by the divine, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this COVID-19 has become a blessing in disguise to have senior professors like you, sir. You have been there right from Maharishi's times. You have handled the English classes. We are very lucky. My question is, sir, when do we realize that we have attained jnana or we get jnana? Be blessed with it.
That's a good question. Many times we think we have reached it and then we find that, my God, we are far away, isn't it? So, so it's only when situation comes, we will come to know how deep we have gone into. Okay. So Swamiji used to joke that somebody says that, oh, now I have no ego at all. That means the fellow has got ego, a lot of ego already. It's a very, very dicey thing. Ego does not die so quickly. So there will be tests. You will come to know whether we have reached or not. But it doesn't matter. Even if it does not happen in this birth, it's all right. Just be at it. Maybe another 3-4 births, it doesn't matter. As long as your journey has started and you're going in the right direction, go ahead. Don't ask how many days. We don't know. Because our genetic center has got imprints of millions of this thing. So we don't know where exactly we stand now. But the question is, there's a poet who said, I don't know how far you are, but you give me the direction. I will start walking in that direction. So we'll all walk in that direction. Somebody may reach faster, doesn't matter. Okay? All the best.
Thank you, sir. Karan Prabhakaran. Karan Prabhakaran. Obliques.
Hello, sir. I'm Karthik here from Chennai. Nice to hear your things. And I'm having a question that if I'm doing constantly Agni in morning and Shanti in the evening on a daily basis, there's a chance to get a Gnanam.
Yeah, that is the beginning. There are higher centers also. You have to practice those things. You must have started recently, but Ajna alone will not take you to that level of frequency. There are higher stages of meditation. You will learn Turiyam, Turiyatitham and all. And then also, apart from meditation, introspection practices, so that we are able to get over our negativities. The habits are very, very strong in us. This meditation will help you to introspect better. And by introspection, you will be able to do meditation better. So like that. And then also trying to understand the concepts of Maharishis by reading his books or other great masters' books. Like that. Develop your knowledge also. So wisdom, meditation, introspection, and a sense of service to society, all those things will take you step by step forward. Okay.
Be blessed. Karan Prabhakaran.
Vazhga Valamudan, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a fantastic speech, and I really enjoyed it. And sir, I heard from somewhere from Maharishi saying the bhakti should be like a eggshell, and it has to be there until the kids are getting matured, and then explore the maturity of Gnanam when the egg become a small chicken. You know,
and the chicken
and
ready. Yes.
Today I learned another example from you. Kai become Kani. That was a really good example, sir. So,
that was Swamiji's example only.
Thank you, sir. I didn't hear that for a long time.
Okay.
It's the second one. It's good for me to explain people. So my question here, sir, we are thinking become like a sky yoga followers and all that. And when we grow our kids, when we understand in an early life stage, like how do we teach our kids? We don't want to go in depth on Bhakti Margam. We want to develop our kids into Jnana Margam from the beginning, even though we know this all now. This is a imitation of Jnanas when we follow the Bhakti. How do we? Is there anything our Maharishi said somewhere or developed something like he developed a marriage system for simplified marriage system according to our follow-up with the Sky Yoga system? In the same way, does he develop anything for the kids, for the children's?
Yeah, for kids also we have even the meditation for kids. We ask them to focus on flowers or focusing on breath. So like that, there are some. In fact, there's a set of books also from LKG up to class 8. You can go through that. You can take the help of those books and teach your children what are the lessons there. So slowly, Swamiji, without telling much of the our Puranic stories, he is able to evolve even children. But actual practice of our meditation would be happening after the physical maturity. And also, you see, you belong to a particular society, so you cannot totally break away from society. In fact, once I remember Swamiji giving So one husband, he thought that, okay, he has become a jnani, but his wife is very, very conservative and believes in all this usual festivals and all. So he says, she comes and asks me to buy a coconut, and then, but I don't believe that coconut should be broken for God and all that. So Swamiji says, why one coconut? Buy two coconuts and give. The chutney is going to come to you only. Is it not? So slowly make people mature. Okay, if you hit upon people and then their ego is hurt, they won't learn. So go along with them, just like Swamiji coming down to our level and then lifting it up. So the children, you got to go to their level. So don't make them straight away into fruit. Okay, don't keep them in cold storage or do some such artificial thing. Let them become raw fruit and then fruit. Okay, you don't have to teach wrong things.
Be blessed. Aditya Mohan.
Sir, be blessed by the divine. I'm Tejaswini from Bangalore, sir.
Yes.
This is I think after 20 years I'm listening to your speech. It's really feel very pleasured, sir, and blessed. Sir, I have a doubt here. As you mentioned, like Maharishi has made it simplified because once maturity starts, so children directly from Bhakti to directly we start with Raja Yoga and they practice regularly and it gets attained to them. To practice step by step, they can attain. But, as what my journey has gone through, when directly people are into Bhakti and Maharishi so easily he made us to realize our own consciousness, and when we meditate, what I have seen is in the centers, what I feel is, people feel very superior and they forget that, that Maharishi has given us that it's just to reach the society. And sometimes they forget it and they feel priority, only priority becomes the priority. Superiority becomes a priority. And Maharishi's focus on, world peace and helping the poor and, going to the depth of hell, helping down to the people and getting into Vedatriyam, they forget that concept, and for some time, how you can justify me that?
It's a good question, and you're putting me on a spot. But anyway, I'll try to answer. See, Swamiji he did not choose people. Whoever came, he made them masters, and then they are doing the service. But as it progresses, right type of people will start taking over. You see somebody starting from a younger age, and with this commitment, when they start becoming masters. Earlier, there were not female masters. Females were not there in the beginning because in our religion we don't allow ladies to participate equally. But today, what you see, 60 to 70% are women. You see, and even among the masters, the numbers are increasing. Similarly, slowly the quality will improve. Okay, so let us put up with whatever we have now. And if we feel so bad that if the current masters are not there, we have to replace them by somebody else. But it takes time. But from what it was in the beginning, when there was nobody ready to even accept Swamiji's principles. See, we were all worshippers of idol worship so strong that Swamiji has brought in such a great revolution itself is a big thing. And not many people were coming forward. So today, the society is getting more and more open. Definitely we'll have more quality teachers. It's a question of time. So put up with them. So that will test what is your, what do you call, tolerance, adjustment, and sacrifice level. Okay. Be blessed.
Be blessed. Prakash Goyal.
Be blessed with the divine. Jai Samrad. Sir, it's always pleasure to hear you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I have one thing to ask. Okay, I've been associated with Sky past 25 years. Okay. I'm really grateful to Swamiji and Sky system, which has transported me from Bhakti Marg to Gyan Marg.
Very good.
But at times when we are in a dire situation,
yes,
we still look for one name or one form, and we plead for for help.
Yes.
So any comments on that?
What, yeah. In one beautiful couplet, Swamiji says, Kadavulai vanangumbodhu karuthinai utruparne, karuthe kadavulai nirkum kaatshai kaanbayange. What it broadly says is, whenever you're worshipping a particular form of God, you are actually worshipping your consciousness. Consciousness takes that shape. That's all. So if you're comfortable with a particular form, and if you sincerely worship towards that, actually everyone is worshipping their own consciousness. So sometimes when this too abstract thing is very difficult and you need something personal. And if you are used to a certain thing, nothing wrong at all. But ultimately understand that it is a form given by us. That's all. But if it can motivate you, the whole bhakti is based on motivation of people to higher levels. So if I want more strength, I think of Hanumanji. The moment I think of Hanumanji, I get some energy. Is it not? So it is a great psychology. When the forms are given, there's a great psychology behind it. So just we don't have to throw away, but you have to understand that this is only to take us to a higher level. So there's nothing wrong if you fall back on certain things. And with this clear understanding, it will help you psychologically. And we all need psychological push at different points of time. And these great masters who created all these things have done with a lot of understanding of human psychology. But only when you think that this is the only route and everything else is wrong, etc., then problems start. Okay?
Vazhga Valamudan. Be
Thank you.
blessed. Srikantan Nair.
Vazhga Valamudan, sir. I am Srikantan Nair from Kerala.
Okay, welcome.
Your explanation was very clear, and Bhakti and Gnanam was explained very neatly. I want to just have one question that in Gita it is said, Jnana Dhyanam Vishishyade Dhyana Karma Bhala Tyaga Tyaga Syanti Narandara. So when Jnanam comes, the Karma Bhalan will be, we will leave the Karma Bhalans. Can you just say 2-3 words about that?
Yes, ultimate jnani, he will not do for anything for his personal benefits at all. Okay, karma phalam is not bothered. He knows that the action itself has the seed of result in that. So he will take, a jnani will take action just like divinity. Divinity does not do anything for itself. For an action, for a cause, result is there. Similarly, he will do actions in tune with nature. Okay, so that is what we can develop when you become a true jnani. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. So once I asked Swamiji, Swamiji used to say, make one statement, I'll say that. So how is it, Swamiji, that whatever great people think happen, and when what we think does not happen? So he says, great people think only that which will happen because they don't have any personal desire or personal motive. They are in tune with nature, and so the result will automatically come to them because of the action itself. So slowly what we will do is, we will do everything in a dispassionate manner. Do what is good for the society, for nature, etc. Karma phala tyaga means not that you will not think of the result. You will think of the result and you will think good of the society and do that. But your personal motivation, selfishness will not be there. That's what it means.
Be blessed.
Yeah.
Aranganayaki Saravanan.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, please go ahead, ma'am.
Vazhga Valamudan, sir. I am Aranganayaki Saravanan. I
Yes,
have taken inspiration from you, sir, in Kuwait.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, sir. I have a doubt, sir. Actually, nowadays I started following Jnana Yoga, but still I couldn't leave my Bhakti Yoga also because some rituals are there I am doing. While doing, I am not concentrating on that specific rituals, whatever I am doing. chanting slokas or what are the things I'm doing now. Is it correct? I have a doubt I'm doing correct or not like that.
You see, we are a part of the society. Certain things we cannot go totally against society. Okay. I'll just share my example. When I was to get married, somebody pointed out that we should marry that Swamiji has given a revised way of marriage, simple way of marriage. So I told Swamiji, I want to get married like that. But he said, your parents and their parents are not yet ready. The society is not ready. So you go through the conventional marriage, but at some point of time when people ask you for advice, you can say that. So you see, you have to live in tune with society as well. Okay, but with this understanding, if you do, even in that, you will be able to do without what I'm saying. You can do with commitment. It's possible. We can combine. There are certain things because we are getting things from society. Societies some sort of understanding with society. We cannot go totally against society. Transformation takes place with time only. So tolerance, adjustment, virtues are required.
Is there, sir? Okay. That is the reason I asked you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Nokia 6.1, please introduce yourself.
Be blessed by the divine.
Yes.
Myself, R. Bhuvinathan, professor from Chennai Chetupattu Mandram.
Okay.
Connected from Pittsburgh in USA.
Vazhga Valamudan. Yes.
Yeah, your presentation on the topic Shakti or Bhakti or Gnanam is wonderfully presented. An excellent presentation. You explain what Bhakti, what is Gnanam, and because people, they have not understood Bhakti or Gnanam, so the confusion is in the world. There is no peace in the world. There is virus situation, all the things. So you have explained it extraordinarily well. The other day also I've been watching about how to transform this viral curse to a boon for the humanity.
Yeah. Yes.
How do we attain? Yes, for which the 14 principles were beautifully explained by understanding oneself and the divinity through self-realization.
Yes.
And, yes, Bhakti is needed until the maturity, the beginning. After the maturity, the Gnanam is very important in one's life. All the things you have presented it very well. And I want to just quote one, the message from Lord Christ.
Yes.
That is, ask, you receive, search, you will find, knock, it will be open. Yes. Swamiji mentioned this in the poem, Veedu topic, Veedu. In the topic he mentions that Tattingal Tirakkapadam Tanakulle Peratal Pudayal Kandor. Vadi Arukurvin Talvaninde Tanai Wanantu Tavambayadal. Like that he quotes.
Thank you, sir. Is there any question, sir? We are running out of time, sir. Is there any question?
Then it reached 18,000 kilometers from Aliyar into within the 4 walls, and then getting transformed. The entire home is filled with the divine energy. I've been just thinking with Swamiji and the concepts of Swamiti Vedathriyam. Presenting for the last 6 weeks, I have been attending it super.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are running out of time, sir. Sorry, sir. We're going to take the next question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Last question, Aditya Mohan.
Sir, thank you for the previous answer you had given me. This is Tejas again from Bangalore, sir. Sir, my last question is, you said we are, getting Raja Yoga from, Sky, and then we are practicing regularly, correct? And then what is the time frame to realize the Jnana, sir? Like, what is the proper understanding of, realizing the Jnana?
It's $1 million question. So give me $1 million, I'll answer you.
Definitely I can.
So you see, we are all on a journey. We don't know where we stand right now. As I told you, we have a genetic center which is imprinted, which has got millions of years of imprints. So somebody can remove it faster. Somebody may take some time. There is nothing like a time limit, 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, but be at it. The very process will give you happiness. And Swamiji says that how to decide whether you're spiritually progressing or not. That question I can answer, which Swamiji answers. He says that, see what in a particular situation, how did you behave 3 months before? Now, in the same situation, how are you behaving? Is there a change? If there's a change for better, you're progressing. Okay? So let us keep progressing. And at some point of time, sooner than later, you would have reached a particular level. Okay? Thank you, Vazhga Valamudan.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you, sir, for patiently answering our questions and sharing your insights and divine thoughts. Thank you so much for your divine service, because I've seen you when I was 10th standard in Aliyar Temple of Consciousness, you and your wife. Now it's my pleasure, and by the grace of divine and our guru, to be a moderator for your session. Thank you very much for your divine service.
Thank you, Vazhga Valamudan. I am also thank the organization for giving such a beautiful opportunity to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let us put our minds together to thank our professor. Come to meditation position. Keep your mind at Turiya Chakra. Senior Professor G. Balachandran, sir, be blessed by the divine. His good health, be blessed by the divine. His loving family, be blessed by the divine. His divine service, be blessed by the divine. We're happy to bring the following online programs live from Aliyar Temple of Consciousness tomorrow. 6 a.m. we have exercises in Tamil. 7 a.m. 9 center meditation in Tamil. 7:30 a.m. 9 center meditation English. At 11 a.m. in the morning, we have speech in Tamil on the topic Gnanamum Valvum by Professor Tirunavukarasu. Evening 6 p.m. Duryadhida meditation in Tamil. 7:30 Duryadhida meditation in English. 7:55 we have a speech in English by Professor Lakshmanan, sir. Please share the invite with your friends and relatives. Let everyone take part in the spiritual journey. We thank our beloved President Padma Shri Arunidhi S.K. Mailanandan, sir, for his leadership and guidance. See you all tomorrow. This is Vijay from Aliyar World Community Service Center IT team. Be blessed by the divine. Good night.
Thank you, Vazhga Valamudan.
Vazhga Valamudan.